Good morning. So, how many of you were part of the organized youth sports as a child? Just one?
Oh.
All right. How many of you are still physically active today? All right. So, as a child, I believe everything you really do builds towards habits that you have for the rest of your life, whether that be how you interact with new people, what your study habits are, or just really how you make new friends. All these things you kind of carry on for the rest of your life of how you go about that process unless you either change it or are told it's bad. So I think one of the most important habits that most people that disregard and that most children need to build is consistent physical exercise. As a child, making that consistent physical exercise habit that you carry on for the rest of your life can be very monumental to your health later on in life, especially like in America, we have a very large problem with cardio and obesity levels. And so I think two of the greatest ways you can really promote this habit of constant physical exercise is one, consistently getting outdoors, or two, being a part of an organized youth sport. And being a part of these sports also really help you just get more engaged in your community. So one statistic that I have is from the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition has a statistic that says someone that was a part of organized youth sports is 8 times more likely at the age of 24 to still be physically active. This shows that habit you build as a child brings on to the rest of your life. So firstly, I'm going to talk about some of the benefits also gained from just being a part of an organized youth sport. First, what's an organized youth sport? There's many different types of sports. There's Little League, basketball, track and field, swimming, really anything for the kid. If they have an interest, there's typically going to be a sport engaged with it. And you typically will be with people of your community, say your neighborhood, your church, your school, anything of that. And in this, you either play towards an objective. So there's, of course, physical benefits gained, like you're being active, though some of the greatest ones also shown by the President's Council are improved bone health, weight and decreased levels of weight and fat levels, a decrease in cancer and diabetes risk, increased cardiovascular health, and muscle health. And that's all from the President's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. So those are just baseline physical things that are added. And also, I think team sports give you a very unique experience. Being a part of a team sport can also really help your communication skills as a child. Whenever you are actively communicating with the people around you, you have to operate as one team, especially in sports such as basketball and football, where it's so important that you're one unit engaging together. A lot of those teamwork and communication skills you bring on to the rest of your life, and those are really amazing benefits, I believe. And they also make you so much more engaged in your community because you have to be with the people around you constantly. You have to be with the kids around you, and then your parents get more engaged because they're around the other parents watching you and talking to each other. And that directly links to the community engagement pillar, So, and then I want to talk about a little bit my experience with youth sports. As a child, I played multiple. I think it is one of the main reasons why I'm still physically active today, especially if you're part of year-long sports. Because I don't know how many of you do, but certain seasons I'll get that itch to go do something. I'm like, dang, I really want to play basketball right now. I get that feeling that I want to go play a sport. And I think that's the reason why I still stay physically active today. And I have so many friendships that I still keep from my youth sports and fond memories. Next, to lead into my next sport, an interesting thing about sports is another one is combat sports. I'm an avid fan of combat sports, and I think combat sports offer such a wide variety of benefits. Firstly, a combat sport is really, in simple terms, it's a sport where combat is the main objective and it's the main competitive element. Some examples of a combat sport are boxing, jiu-jitsu, karate, judo, anything of that accord, or wrestling. And in these sports, you get the same physical benefits that you would in just an organized sport, such as cardiovascular health, anything like that. But very uniquely, they have very interesting psychological elements that really help you. In a study by PhD psychologist Jose Morales, it's been shown that children that are part of a combat sport at younger ages show very increased levels of confidence. They are significantly less violent, and they also believe violence is never really the first choice or really the choice ever. And then they also have been shown to be significantly more motivated in school and in classes. And these are all really amazing psychological things that are offered really only through a combat sport, I believe. And I personally am a part of a combat sport. I started boxing at the beginning of this year, and ever since I've started doing it, I believe it's had a tremendous help on my mental health. It's made me a significantly more confident person. Before this, who knows if I could give a speech to people? That's all right. And then also, I think it's really helped me with my stress and anxiety levels, and it's made me so much more engaged in the Springfield community because there's so many people there that I've met that I would never interact with in my entire life, but now I have had these friendships that I love, and I get to interact with people every day. Finally, being outdoors. Being outdoors as a child is tremendously important. Whether that be just consistently going to the park with your mom, something like that really helps a child be more engaged and be much more physically active. In a study by Heather Elizen, a PhD psychologist over at Harvard University, she was shown that children, whenever they're outside, use their creative thinking and then they use their imagination skills to a different level that are not available to use indoors or really anywhere else. And whenever you're a child, that age of exploration, of going outside, seeing around, everything is new to you, is so important to the rest of your life. And also, it builds that habit of consistent physical exercise. If even it's just, I'm going outside to go play on the swings as a kid, you still, like, whenever it's nice outside, you want to be like, dang, I want to go to the park. And that keeps you physically active for the rest of your life. Whenever you feel that nice weather, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go to the park. It's so nice outside. And also by Heather Elizen, one of the greatest things about being outside is you're more engaged. One thing about it is whenever children are taught outside, they're actually shown to be significantly more attentive to what they're learning. Even if it's just basic things like math or history, they're still more attentive. And I believe being outdoors can really help someone be more engaged in the community as well, because they see the nature, the environment around them, they understand deeper. Because I know whenever I'm outside, I connect deeper, on a deeper level, to where I actually live. So in conclusion, I believe being a part of organized youth sports, being outdoors, can be some of the most crucial and beneficial things you can do as a child to build that habit of physical exercise, of consistent physical exercise that you bring on for the rest of your life. And they can make you so much more engaged in the community around you, whether that be through making new friendships or by just being outside in your community and learning about it. Thank you very much.